have been wanting to do this review for so long now, but finally here we are. Welcome back, friends. If you are new to my channel, my name is Saray, and in this video we are going to be doing a review and share my thoughts on the Amplify planner system. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I have been eyeing this planner for probably close to a year now. I was very intrigued by the layout, just how much you can fit in the planner, and just overall, it seemed like an ideal planner for me. So the good thing about Amplify Planner is that they actually have a ton of printables and you can download them, all kinds of layouts, weekly, horizontal. There's like budgeting layouts, there's meal planning layouts, goal setting, all kinds of things in there. And last December, I actually went to their site and I downloaded the daily and I started to play around with it a little bit. And I found that I wasn't 100% sure. So I give myself some time. And then I went back later on, a few weeks later, probably at the end of January, beginning of February, and I decided to give it another go. And at that time, it just seemed to fit. Everything just kind of fell into place and it seemed to be like the perfect planner for me. So I went ahead and ordered it. But just like I always do, I didn't just order one, I ordered the full year. So there is a number of different planners on their site and you can order a full yearly planner, but it's only going to give you like the weekly view. And the one that I have is the quarterly version, and you don't have to purchase all 4 quarters at the same time. I personally if I kind of just go all in when I do decide that I want something. So I ended up purchasing the full year. So that's why you see 4 different planners. So it's 3 months in each planner. So this is the January through March, then the April and June, July through September, and then October through December. And this is the weekly. It has a monthly, a weekly, and a daily layout. Now I got the bundle, so that's why they're all the same color, but you can purchase these separately, and that gives you some flexibility in terms if you want a different color for each quarter. I personally like the same color throughout the entire year, so that's why I picked this one. Now, this planner was not sent to me. This is something that I obviously purchased myself. I started using it, I shared it, and then Amplify Planner team reached out to me with, the opportunity to become an affiliate with them. And because I love the planner so much, spoiler alert, I decided to go for it. So I do have a discount code and our coupon code below and the link. So if you want to go ahead and use it, if you're interested in purchasing this planner for yourself or for someone else that you think that might like it, go right ahead. But before you do that, let's go ahead and jump right in. And so I can share my thoughts and the reasons why I really like it, and then some of the things that I wish were a little bit different. I'll start off by saying that if you are looking for a planner that houses your entire life, basically, then this is it, because there's so much room for everything in here. So we'll jump right in. It looks like their signature sort of design is this chevron. I'm not sure what we're calling it, but this little chevron design here. So you'll find that throughout their packaging materials, but the planner itself is very, very neutral. As you can see, the tabs are very neutral, all grayscale, all black and white, pretty much straightforward. These are some examples of the different layouts that they carry. So this is the monthly layout. Sneak peek, it is a lined monthly layout, which I think is a huge win. It is a lined weekly vertical, and then the daily layout. You have a sort of year at a glance for a couple of years, your annual holidays, and anything else that you might want to add. And then special days, so sort of like your year at a glance right here. And then you also have a section for goal setting. So you have different categories, so a total of 8 different categories that you might want to start to focus on. And because this is a quarterly, you have like a 3-month focus, which I think makes it really manageable as well. So I personally don't use this section because I do use the MoxieLife goal setting system. That's the one that I found a lot of value with. But not to say that this doesn't have value, I just haven't tried it. But that one's very comprehensive. You know, MoxieLife is really all about goal setting built into your weekly plans. So just something to keep in mind there. But obviously, if you're looking for something a little bit more streamlined, all-in-one sort of planner, then this one, like I mentioned, is it. So then it jumps right into the first month. So there's no sort of monthly dashboard within this planner. It just jumps right in. The first page where that month tab is thicker than the other pages. But the other pages are of very high quality. It's a very thick paper. Based on my experience and the stuff that I've used, it doesn't necessarily bleed through a ton. Really, I'll probably do a separate, I don't know how long this video will be. I don't want to make it too long. So I'll probably make a separate video with some swatches of things so that you can see if things bleed through or not. But in my experience, it really hasn't. It has been very durable and thick. So I like that. And then this is your monthly view. Things that I'm loving about this monthly view obviously is lined. I love these boxes over here. The only thing I wish is that they were not shaded, just in case you don't use an erasable pen and you need to white something out. That's, you know, one thing. I don't like shaded boxes. I think I've shared this for years. I don't like shaded boxes, but I really love the functionality of this. You could use this for so many different things, but what I really like about this is that it sort of like corresponds to each week of the month. So this could be like cleaning list of things or regular routines that you have for the week that you need to take care of, or content, for example. So many different things that you can use that, or you could just use it as a standalone list for different categories. You have here a list section for things that you want to focus on for this month. And then I really love this habit tracker here at the top. So super, super functional. And then it jumps right into the week. Now, this is a lined vertical. There's no hours. So one of the things that I did do to adjust it is that I created, let me go to the back and get that little sheet. So I actually made myself some hourly strips, and I'll bring you to a week in February that I sort of played around with. So here's a week that I sort of started to play around with. So instead of putting the hourly strip on every single column, I basically just put it at the very edge just so that it would guide me. So I struggle with having a line weekly without hours because it just doesn't give me the hourly structure that I kind of crave. But there's space for so much. So in terms of sizing, we haven't talked about that. Let's do a little bit of a comparison. So this is not a traditional like 7x9. It's not at a full letter size either. So it is slightly narrower than like an Erin Condren planner, and a little bit taller. So an Erin Condren cover is not gonna work because it's, you know, it's much about an inch and a half taller than a 7x9, and then it's also a little bit more narrow. So let me put it on the top. Although the pages seem to be about the same size, but I think it's smidge more narrow. So because of the tallness, you do get a ton of lines, and each line, it's a little bit more thin. It's thinner than, like, for example, an Erin Condren line, so you can fit a lot. So my hourly strips actually go from 5 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m. So if you're someone who really needs a lot of space because you get up early, maybe you go to bed a little bit later, you need a lot of hours in your day, than most planners typically offer, because from what I've seen, like for example, the Erin Condren one starts at 6 a.m. and it ends like 7 or maybe 8 p.m. The Day Designer also does sort of have a little bit of a limited hours. So this one gives you so much room for all of those hours that you might want to incorporate. So I just put that there just to guide me, just because I kind of struggle with not having that structure. But if you could also turn it into some sort of like a vertical planner and then just have the categories. This planner really offers you a lot of structure, but also a lot of freedom. So you'll notice that on the weekly view, the sidebar is actually on the right hand side. It is narrower than this, so that's a little tricky, and it is shaded. So I wish that it wasn't shaded as well as these boxes up here, but it does give you a lot of different spots for you to just write down things that that are important, like life balance activity. I think that's important. It's a reminder, especially for me, because I tend to just kind of overwork myself a little bit. And then you have like a focus area here too for the week. Then it jumps right into the daily view, but you do have this page here is a dot grid page that you can use for whatever you like. Maybe one of the things that I've used it for already has been for meal planning. So let me show you. I actually ended up printing out one of their printables, which was the meal planning, on a sticker sheet, and basically I just stuck it here. So you can do that there. You can do a weekly sort of focus dashboard area, whatever you like. So you get one of these pages at the beginning of every single week. So this is what the daily layout looks like. And this is like one of the first ones that I did here. So I've sort of been kind of using it on and off, trying it out, kind of finding my feet within the system. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up one daily that I've already filled out, maybe one of my favorites, and I'll share how all of the different possibilities, that how you can use it, how I've used it, and give you some ideas. All right, so these have been some of my favorite days that I've planned in this planner. So obviously you have your hourly, your schedule section on the left hand side. The hours go from 5 to 11 p.m. So there's only enough hours for from 5 to 10 on the weekly, but on the daily they go from 5 to 11 p.m. I really love how you can really color code the hours or color code within this planner. So this is sort of what I did. So I used 3 different colors in the month of February to color code my life, essentially. So anything in pink is sort of like personal, anything blue is work, and purple I did sprinkle it in because I was preparing for Go Wild, and purple is all about wild. So that's what the color codes indicate. So you have your schedule. One thing that might take a little bit of getting used to within this planner is the size of the lines. They're very thin. So if you're someone who has big handwriting, something to keep in mind there, that there's really not a ton of room. I feel like I have small to medium handwriting, so that's fine. But I do notice that I do end up writing a little bit smaller than I typically do when I'm using like my Erin Condren planner, for example. So one of my favorite things about this schedule here is that it really helps you manage your time and time block, or really, just manage your schedule overall, because you do have all of those hours there. So that's great. There here in the middle, you have 3 sections, or really 4. So you have this shaded box that you can use for anything. I've been using it for the weather, but it could be anything. Maybe it could be dinner plans there, or anything else. Then you have a section called Today's Priorities, 3 lines there. I like that because, there's only so many hours in the day, and I don't want to like overcommit to things. So it really helps me to narrow down to what are the 3 things or less that I should be focusing on to feel good about today. Then it jumps into work tasks. Now, this is a pretty substantial work task section. So like you can see, go all the way down. This, I haven't always used it for work. I've changed it. So there is another day, for example, on this one where we were going to a friend's wedding and we needed to stay overnight. So we needed to pack to stay at the hotel. So that's what I did. I used it as a packing list. So you can just slap a sticker on here and just repurpose it for something else. So it doesn't necessarily have to be work tasks. And then on the bottom, you have personal tasks. And the other thing is, you know, you could always switch it. Maybe you have more personal tasks than you have work tasks. You can just, again, put a sticker over it and just switch those two. Because sometimes I find that that's what I have. Then over here on this right column, you have daily habits. So space for 4. Things that I was looking to track were things like reading, logging my meals. I was tracking my hydration. Didn't do very good on this day, but I was tracking my hydration here, etc. And then you have these 4, I believe they're calling these freedom boxes, and they couldn't be more perfectly named, because they give you so much freedom to use it for whatever you like. So I used just a highlighter and I titled this one Wedding Prep. So these were all the things that I needed to focus on to prep for going away for our friend's wedding. This one I used for seasonal. So I've started to get back to my seasonal living and all things paper and glam. And I used this to write down whatever I was going to do to enjoy the season for the day. So on this day, I made some chocolate covered strawberries, which were delicious. Then I have my Go Wild, all the things that I needed to plan for that. And this one would have been miscellaneous, but every day, like, there were some things that I switched it up. So for example, on this day, I needed to help Steven with his reviewing his resume. So I made a box there for him for anything else that I needed to do with him or for him, etc. And then on the bottom, you have a ton of space that you can use for journaling or reminders or other tracking, for example. So on this day, I used this one to track Happy Mail that I had coming my way. Put some more decorations in this one. So many different things that you can use. Other things that I've used it for, like the freedom boxes, instead of other things that I had to do, like I put it for my social things that I needed to do. So like comments and messages. This one, instead of habits, I used it for the content that needed to go up on this day. So there's so much opportunity with this layout that it's like unbelievable to me, and I really love it. So that's basically the layout of this planner. So it jumps into the month, then the weekly, and then it jumps into the day. So this is like one of the recent days that I have planned. Then at the back of every quarterly planner, you have a substantial number of notes pages, which is usually not the case with many planners, I think. So you have, these are all dot grid. You have 10 double-sided notes pages right here, plus this one. So this 21 pages of notes essentially. And then there is a pocket, a double-sided pocket in the back, and then it brings us to the back cover. Another thing that I want to talk about that they have available on the site, and I definitely had to grab, is a ruler. So they have a ruler with this design, the chevron design, which snaps on here. It's a little bit on the narrower side. I really kind of like the size because it's very portable, very, fits anywhere sort of thing. And the one thing that I was most excited about is this stencil. They actually have a stencil, and I saved the cover or the packaging of the stencil so that I could show you how it really looks like, because it's always a little bit hard to see. But one of the things that I really love about this stencil is that it's clear, so I can see where it's fitting. So I do prefer clear stencils, so this one is perfect. And this one is sized perfectly for the planner. Like you can see, if I wanted to do a box right there, it fits perfectly around this section. The lines are spaced perfectly how they go here. So, and I've been using it so much. So definitely love this feature. It did not come with this coil thing. This is something that I put on myself because I I like to put it here in my page so that I always have it with me. But I had it laying around, so just know that it doesn't come with this coil thing. But you can get, you know, like I know, like for example, Erin Condren has these coil clips. This one is one that I had for a long time. I can't even remember the name of the shop where I got it from. I've had it for years, so I found it and I put it there just so that I could keep tabs of my stencil. The cover is not the strongest one. It is, I think, a little flimsy in my opinion. I wish it was a little bit more sturdy, maybe laminated. I wish the designs weren't so like solid color, you know, maybe some more florals or things like that. You know, I love, I'm a little spoiled with the designs, but the functionality of this planner, I mean, it cannot be beat. Like I mentioned, if you're looking for that one planner to house your entire life, then this is it. So definitely loving this planner. I keep like going back to it and, you know, just using it on those days that I'm really have a jam-packed agenda, or I really need a lot of structure, or I need a lot of flexibility. And I've been really enjoying just these spreads so much. So I'm excited for this planner. I'm excited to see what the future holds with this planner. But again, I definitely really like it. I thought that I would never like go into another planner, but this one has definitely, has this a sweet spot in my heart because of all of the things that it can offer. So let me know if you have any comments or questions. I'm not going to go over the other ones because they're exactly the same. It's just for the different quarter. But let me know if you have any other comments or questions or things that I did not address in the video. Hopefully I cover a lot of things. But if you have anything specific that you want to know about the planner, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for joining me today for this review video of the Amplify planner. Super excited for this one. And as always, friends, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.